wanted to lose. Yes, I wanted to watch this. I made a realistic Lego man, and I'm sorry. Nigga made a fucking alien. Holy shit.
Hey folks, my name is Adam and I like to make tiny nerdy things. And sometimes when I'm stressed out, I like to relax with a little Lego. Unfortunately, I don't
I
have
made a
enough here,
Lego
so
alien.
of course, I don't want to tread on the Lego group's toes, so I'm going to make mine a little bigger than usual. And to
Okay.
save on clay, I'm going to build the core out of aluminium foil, then cover it in a thin...
Aluminium or aluminum? Aluminium or aluminum? Aluminium or aluminum? Aluminium or aluminum? What fucking is it?
layer of clay. Then I'll bake that till I've got a rock solid center. A couple lengths of wire on the sides will function as the arm bones, and a couple wires.
Bro, listen to Tony later, bro. I want to watch the Lego
on a
Man.
block and get to work on building up the fleshy bits.
Okay.
Lego Man anatomy leans towards a pretty bulky, stocky build, but I want this to be as accurate as possible to a normal Lego Man minifig. Really, I want you to look at
giving that nigga a dick.
Oh,
Y'all think like what would like a Lego person's dick look like? Like what do you think it would look like? Like if a Lego man had a dick. Like I really wonder.
Adam's just playing with everyday, run-of-the-mill Legos. How totally normal. He must be a very sane and very reasonable person. To that end, I'm going to make sure his legs are roughly as thick as his body and roughly the same length. Then I'll smooth everything out and start adding the totally normal details like kneecaps and ankles.
Yeah, that's a dead-ass serious question, you know, that needs an answer.
Of course, in keeping with that stocky leg anatomy, I want to make sure that I smooth these in so they're just barely noticeable. Again, I don't want this to look weird. I'm just trying to make it a slightly larger version of a Lego man, but with a little more detail that's usually obscured on the smaller figures. For instance, most Lego men are wearing a onesie that covers their feet, but if you catch them without their leggings, you'll find that they have a single large toe. Obviously, with that much toe in the game, you're going to have an awful lot of toe wrinkle around the area as well. Of course, with a stocky, chubby leg like that, you'd expect a lot of leg wrinkles too. Now, Lego men aren't monsters after all, so there's no claws here.
Whoa,
just a single
that
big
nigga got
toe.
one
Of course, a
toe.
toenail that big is going to be hard to take care of, so I expect it to be pretty banged up. I mean, maybe that's why they're always covering them up. I'll bulk out his belly a bit by giving him a nice, natural, healthy.
I hope you
paunch
guys
and
are
add
having a
some
good
nice
day today.
muscular pecs.
I am.
Now, there's a lot of body types in the Lego world, so I wanted to get an average body type, which is probably pretty close to a dad bod. Oh, and I gave him a belly button too, which I guess leads to a lot of questions I'm unwilling to answer. Finally, I'll add a little squishy coin of clay and blend that into his chest so that I have a neck upon which...
Bro, it's not in your nature to get bitches, bro. It's in your nature to see a bitch, bite your tongue, and look the other way. Shut up. You get no pussy, nigga.
To attach his head. Speaking of which, same as with the body, I'll start by making myself an aluminium foil skull, then rolling myself an oversized piece of clay sushi before cutting the edges off and blending it all in.
Okay. That's a nice little Lego head.
Now I noticed
Bow!
there's a
Bow!
decent amount
Bow!
of air trapped between the clay and the foil, and if I don't get it out, then it will expand in the oven, causing pops and cracks in the clay. So I've got a hole in the top of the head to give the hot air somewhere to escape to. Then I can attach the head to the neck, blend it in, and then because this is a Lego man, I'll give him my apple.
Oh, wow. He got an
Finally,
apple.
I realized that if I'm going to give him a belly button, then I really ought to give him some nipples. You know, for continuity. These are going to get covered up by a shirt later anyways, but this way you know they're there and we can all suffer together. Using my ball stylus, I'll...
No regrets. Y'all remember that tattoo? Hey, bruh. Hey. 50 gifted subs and I'm getting this tatted on me. Right, I'm right here. 50 gifted subs. Right here. Right here. 50. No regrets. Regrets.
Poke a couple of eye sockets into appropriately eye sockety areas, then carve a starting line for his mouth.
Okay, it's coming
I've pre-baked a
along.
couple eyeballs of clay which get fitted into his face, then I can get to work on bulking out the facial details. As I mentioned before, a lot of the detail gets
Oh
lost
my
on a larger
god.
scale with Legos, which is why I wanted to make this guy a little bit bigger. It's also why you can't really see any of the wrinkles and skin textures at that scale, so I'm gonna really spend some extra time highlighting them here.
Why am I so interested in this? Oh my gosh. Ew, what the fuck?
With the face finished, I baked everything to lock it in place so I can get to work adding his arms. Now the arms
That
themselves
nigga look
are
like
pretty
Randy.
easy as they just place off,
Ew.
get stuck onto the bone and bent into the correct angle. On the other hand, his hands need a bit of attention. Basically, the Lego Man hand
Man,
is
fuck
less a
Randy.
hand and more a claw with two thumbs. And like any good double-thumbed claw hand, it's gonna need a healthy nail bed, a good amount of wrinkles on top of the knuckles.
Nah, if that shit
some
come
skin
alive,
folds
bruh.
inside the thumb palms, and of course, a set of beautifully manicured thumbnails.
Ew.
Finally, to add the fingerprint texture to the thumbs, I'm gonna use my fingerprints. At this scale, it's pretty much spot on, though it does mean that if this Lego man ever comes to life and commits a crime, there's a very real chance that I'll get framed for it. Otherwise, all that's left to do is add the little connector on top of his head, and the sculpting is all but finished, which means it's time to move on to the painting, which means it's time to prime him.
Oh shit. That motherfucker look crazy. Imagine it's like it's 3 in the morning. That motherfucker just push your door open. The fuck? I'm gonna like pull my pants down or something.
Now, in sticking with that true to the original design that I'm going for, I want to end with the jaundicey yellow skin tone so often associated with minifigs. However, I still want it to have a nice fleshy look.
Boy, Randy,
so I'm
fuck
gonna
you.
start by covering it with a pinkish skin tone as a base coat. I'll follow that up by applying a healthy coat of very thin yellow.
I used to
over
be
top
obsessed
and
with
sponging it
Legos,
away.
bro. I'm gonna
This'll
build a
help to
Lego
remove the
set
brush
drunk on
stroke,
stream one
prevents
day.
the yellow from building up in the flat surfaces, but allows it to run into the cracks and crevices. Plus, it's kind of like I'm applying makeup, and those makeup tutorials get mad views. I'll slowly work my way through a series of similar, but not quite the same shades of yellow to help give my Lego Man skin a bit of depth, all the while working to tone that yellow down to a slightly fleshier look.
But you know the idea
Then
is
I'll come
lit,
back
bro.
through and add some darker
People will
highlights to all
fuck
the
with that.
wrinkles, continuing to sponge away any excess. The goal here is to give it a nearly imperceptible shading, or at least in
Randy, you know I
hindsight,
fuck
that's
with
the
you,
goal,
bro.
since it makes it sound like what you're seeing is
My little
intentional
bro.
and not just me making it up as I go along. With
That
skin tones
bitch.
finished and looking
Like,
not
now you know I
the least
fuck with
bit
you, boy.
I can begin painting the details, starting with the sextet of fingernails and toenails. I ended up adding a bit more grime to his toenails later on, which I kind of regret since I'm actually really happy with how they turned out here. I suppose I could go back and repaint them at any time, but knowing myself, I'm not gonna. I'll give his mouth an internal coat of black, then do the same though externally to his
Ew.
eyeballs before touching up his lips with a little lip gloss. And it's time to
Ew.
cover up his shame. To cut down on
Give
paint
that
and
nigga
time
a
later,
dick,
make his
bro.
eyes out of colored cosplay,
He's
starting
trying
with
to fuck
blue for his
some.
blue jeans. Of course, if I want him to have blue jeans, I'm gonna need some good jean texture. Fortunately, I've got this pile of blackout fabric, which is offcuts from my Glamour Shot backdrops and is a pretty solid looking blue jean texture. I'll cut a strip of it out and lay a flat sheet of blue clay on top of it so that I can run them both through my pasta machine at the same time.
What is
leaving
this?
me with a pretty convincing fabric texture.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Then I can cut it into strips and build myself a pair of jeans. It's kind of like making jean shorts, but in reverse and also nothing like that. Basically, I'll just cut out little strips and stick it onto my Lego Man until I've got all the leg parts covered that I want covered. While the overall goal is for this to be indistinguishable from a normal minifig, I'm not going to be covering up his feet, instead opting for that shoeless look. I considered making him some sandals, but I couldn't decide on what style to go with. I suppose a pair of Birkenstocks would probably look pretty smart, but maybe I'll do that next time. At this point, I've got his jeans assembled, and I can start adding the wrinkles and folds by way of little wormy dealies attached strategically where the wrinkles would be. For reference, I just looked up chubby babies wearing jeans and
Nah, this
copied
is
all the
actually
wrinkles and
cool
folds
as
sick.
fuck.
A
What
quick
the
dab of
hell?
fabric will
Bro,
redo
my
textures so I
camera!
can
Nah,
get
this
to
is
work
getting
adding the
annoying.
trouser details. Now, in previous videos, I've had some people comment on how I call them pants in one sentence and trousers in the next, and there's a very good reason for that. In Canada, pants are pants, but in the UK, pants are underwear, and you can quickly find yourself in awkward silence when you tell your in-laws that your pants are dirty. So while I will slip back and forth every once in a while, I do tend to default to calling everything trousers just to avoid any unnecessary.
Imagine you with a UK bitch and you tell her my pants dirty. Shawty next to you thinking you just shit yourself. Oh, kill, you really just spilled some lemonade on your pants.
Drive aside though, my trousers are done and I can get to work on my shirt, or as it's called in the UK, a jolly good T-bib. This goes through pretty much the exact same process of cutting strips and layering them up until my Lego man's chubby belly is covered, except this time I'm not going to bother with any textures. Now for those of you wondering, yes, you could absolutely see his nipples through his shirt. I ended up adding a bit of extra clay there to cover them up because I couldn't stop laughing. I ended up missing a tiny bit of clay at the bottom, so it looks like he's just a bit too fat for his shirt and his belly is hanging out, and I think that is the textbook definition of a happy accident. Otherwise, I'll do the exact same thing I did with the pants, adding little wormy dealies all over the place to simulate the folds in his shirt.
This is cool as shit, bruh.
There's not much detail to add up top, but I'll make sure to give his collar as well as his cuffs a bit of attention, then it's time to add a bit more color. Because I've used the colored clay, I'm really only increasing the vibrancy and adding some shading. I'll start by repainting the entire surface with a thinned out red, then touching up all the edges with a lighter shade. I'll do the exact same thing for the jeans, adding a nice
this
blue
is
base
cool
coat
as
of the blue,
shit.
then adding lots of light blue highlights along all the areas that the jeans would fray. For me, the real benefit of painting the colored clay is that I can work a lot faster and not worry about missing any spots. If I do end up missing a bit of the blue, well, the clay is already blue, so who's really gonna notice? Otherwise, with everything else painted and sculpted, I can finally add a couple drops of UV resin to his eyes to really make him shine.
Ew, that's what make that shit
So my Lego
shiny.
man finished, I need something for him to stand on, but I really wanted something simple so as to fit with the authentic Lego man theme and not draw attention away from the minifig. In the end, I decided to simply make an appropriately sized Lego block.
I thought he was gonna do that.
Now, I'm well aware that I could have gone all out and made something extra fancy, and it wouldn't have been too hard to keep the Lego man as the focus, but I really didn't want to. And in the end, it was easy enough to reframe my laziness as artistic integrity. Hell, I could have made a better Lego block out of foam, but then I would have had to paint it, and this clay is already green. Yeah, I'm that lazy sometimes. At any rate though, my Lego block is done. I'll throw it in the oven, mount my Lego man, and we're on to the glamour shots.
Okay, show him. Ooh. Ew. But just show the nigga, man. You trying to get in my pants with him? What the fuck? Ew. Imagine this thing just like tugging on your pants, bruh.
Enable these sorts of things, but
Nah, it looks cool as fuck though.
Go to Gray, Jacob Rear, Sarash,
You're a little
Dark
fat.
Skin, Kiwi Kuma,
You
Eva, E.
you really do look like Randy.
Vegas, Archie H, Stormy Sky, Sun Young, Langston Ward, and Inuyasha. You are the handcrafted red shirt that helps
No
hide the
hair,
horrific
just like
Lego
your
nipples
bald ass.
That is this channel. I hope at some point during this video you blew a little extra air out of your nose.
I like him. I'm gonna watch him later.